So I had a technical question about the international law perspective of the Hormuz Strait, for whatever that's worth. International law is not worth much. But I was looking at the maritime borders of Iran, and I noticed that the Hormuz Strait is entirely outside of the maritime borders of Iran. So my question is what the Islamic Republic is doing, is that not technically terrorism in foreign waters or in international waters? I think Jeffrey might be more equipped to answer a question like that.
I mean, before Jeffrey responds, the entire existence of the Islamic regime is a violation of international law.
No, yeah,
Everything
yeah,
they do is terrorism. Like
yes, I
them breathing is a violation. The Islamic Republic breathing is a violation of not just international law, but anything a violation of everything that you can think of. Yeah, but
yeah.
yeah, of course it is. I mean, yeah, go on.
Yeah, but everything they've done crimes since the moment they stepped into power in Iran, and they continue to do crimes today. But like they've done crimes through supporting proxies, through this and that. But this is directly them acting against.
The
That's why.
Islamic Republic on one of the first foreign policies was to for them to capture the American embassy and kidnap all of their. That was pretty direct. That was day one of the Islamic Republic. They kidnapped and take took hostage all of the embassy staff of United States inside Tehran. That was pretty
Yeah,
direct, in my opinion.
yeah, that's true. But that was 47 years ago. But yes, could I have an answer to this question?
I mean, Khamenei has directly called for the complete destruction of Israel, wiping them completely out. So that is pretty direct, in my opinion. But Jeffrey, go ahead.
That's a very, very like good question. So the Strait of Hormuz is kind of like a weird animal. Let's kind of like break it down quick. So the width versus territorial waters. So the total width of the Strait of Hormuz is like 35 to 60 miles at its like widest, and the narrowest point is like 25 to 35 miles. And so the critical fact is territorial seas, as it's internationally defined, is 12 miles on either side. So what it means is the entire strait is effectively covered by Iranian and Omani territorial waters. So, kind of what does it mean from an international law perspective? Ships operate under, even though it's like fully territorial, it's like ships operate under something called transit passage rights. And that means that there's free movement for commercial shipping and military vessels. No permission is required in a standard interpretation. So it's like it's sovereign waters, depending on which side you're looking at, but functionally treated like an international corridor. That's why they talk about like the inbound lane. There's two lanes: an inbound lane that's 2 miles wide, an outbound lane that's actually it's more than 2 miles. You know, a certain same number of miles on the outbound lane. Then there's a buffer zone of 2 miles. So the location of the lanes, mostly it's in Omani territorial waters with slight overlap with Iranian waters. And I say Iran, not the mullah regime that's illegally occupied Iran since 1979. So it's like a really fucking weird animal. It's almost like the international law version of a platypus. It's like got a duck bill, but it lays eggs and it's a mammal. What's the bottom line? So territorial reality, fully inside both Iran and Oman waters, with disproportionately being owned by Oman. The legal reality is it's open to all under transit passage. The shipping lanes favor very much the Omani side. And the military reality is, as you correctly identified, the mullah regime that's illegally occupied Iran since 79 has engaged in both terrorist activities within their what would be considered Iran's territorial waters and more broadly the entire strait because it's an international passage route. That's like my best definition given the weird blended Rubik's Cube nature that defines that shit under international law.
Yeah. Wonderful. Thank you so much. The international community in Europe, it should be expected to do more because they're being terrorized. But yes, that's the reason. Thanks so much.
Just a quick comment, like international law is more and more being proven to be international suggestions rather than international law. And it's like we have to recognize that it's not about United Nations having some rules on a piece of paper that makes the world a safer place. It's about who has the might to protect our interests globally. It's, countries like United States and Israel's military that is keeping the world stable. It's not international law.